Good morning, coders. That was a bit of an abrupt stop. Hope you're all well. Hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday morning. It's 6:58 UTC, GMT, BST, whatever UK time zone it is at the moment. I don't know. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of project planning. A little bit of project planning, so it's going to be a wee bit different from usual streams. Because what I want to do is take a look at where we're at with this Jira board on the howtocodewell.net site, and see if we can split things up into different phases. So let's go over to this window here. This is the How to Code Well portal board. Yeah. So there's 47 tasks here. One way I was thinking, because we've got this roadmap here, which doesn't really make much sense, to be honest. We're right at the end of it, to be honest. We haven't done any of this stuff. I don't know why I did all this. So one thing I was thinking was if we did status in progress. I mean, a simple thing I was considering was just to go to these boards and then create a label for each one of these tasks and have the label as phase 1 or not. And then what I would do is just search by label. Sounds sensible. I don't particularly want to do this whole roadmap thing. Nah, that's a bit messy. And I think it's probably easier, because there's 47 of them, there's quite a few amount of them. I think it would be easier to just label the ones that are in phase 1 rather than go through all of them. I think that would probably be wise. I think bugs should be in phase 1 anyway. So this is a bug here. Fix the portal script to use the new API. I'm going to mark this one up as we'll do phase 1. Phase 1. Labels can't have spaces or more than... really? Phase 1. Let's just... without the W. We'll copy that for future reference. There we go. Okay. Cool. Or, actually, we've got the MVP here, haven't we? The minimum viable product. Let's do that instead, actually. That would probably be wise. MVP. Right. Cool. And also what I want to do today is talk about... hello, why did that label not appear? I want to talk about the different stages of this project. This project, by the way, is the new howtocodewell.net site. As you can imagine, it's pretty big, therefore I need a little bit of planning. And unfortunately, the project has gone through, all the fault is my own. It's gone into various different avenues. And what I would like to do is rein it back in a bit. Let's just see what is in the MVP at the moment. That's probably a good start. So there is 5 tasks. Fix the portal build script to use the new API. Let's explain that a little bit more. So this is an issue with the new setup of the API authentication. So I'm going to put in a label here. If I can, you're gonna no. Stop doing that. Come on, Jira. Yeah. So API and UI. Okay. So essentially, what's happening here is that because of the new API authentication layer that I've put in, the build scripts fail. Because they need to be wired up. So I think I should just put in some spiel on that, because this title doesn't really explain that. Fix portal build script to use the new API. So this is when running, and it's Gatsby build, I think it is. Gatsby build. How do I get out of this? I don't want... There we go. When running Gatsby build, the HTCW API calls need to go through the new auth layer to get the correct token. And they're failing. So no courses, nothing is coming back because it needs to go through that. So that's probably one thing. I mean, that's a task in itself, right, to do. So that's definitely MVP. Okay, show course description. This is definitely an MVP, but the thing is, I need to come up with these course descriptions. Yeah, so there's a bit of background task there. How should I approach that? I guess what I could do is create an issue. Create all course descriptions. And we'll label this as off stream, and we'll label this as well as copy. Oh, content. Let's capitalize that. So create or write better course descriptions for all courses. So this is actually going to take me a long time to do because there's 17 courses now. And it's not a case of just taking it from the YouTube, if there is any on YouTube, the YouTube descriptions, because that's not a course description. That's like a bunch of YouTube links to my other courses, links to my other content, and there's a small paragraph perhaps of what the tutorial is actually doing. But the thing is, this is a good example of how we're moving away from the well, we're not moving away, but YouTube, you obviously don't have, it's not split up in courses. There's playlists, but it's not really courses, is it? And there's no way of me telling that you've watched the 7th tutorial without watching the first 6th, right? So whereas what we're doing with How to Code Well is we're creating more of an order. So we're grouping these videos together as courses. So the whole notion of having a course description and bits like that, I never really had when I was doing these courses. So I need to actually go back through the courses and then have a look at what I'm teaching and then create a description around that. So this is actually quite a big task. For all, put in brackets here, 17 courses. Yeah, this is going to take some time. This is going to take some time. Also, this is going to be tricky because we don't have a content management system yet. So all of this, all the copy of this is going in as PHP arrays and then looping over and then updating the database based on the fixtures. So this is actually going to be quite a tricky challenge to do. I may have to consider doing this differently and maybe using text files and reading off of those text files. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put a pin in this and think about it. I think. That's a tricky task, that one. That's a big one. So this whole show course description kind of relies on that create all course descriptions thing. So this is actually going to be requires an API endpoint. Can I do subtasks in here? Is that possible? I'm sure there is. Sure, there's a way of doing that. Some add to child issue here. Yeah. So this is going to need. So will it need the API? So the API doesn't. The API will come back with the course and all of its stuff. So that should be okay. That should be included. I'm just thinking through like how I've got the mechanics to work. No, I think that's just fine. But what we certainly need to do if there is possibility of linking this up. So what's this? This is how to code well 166. Can I link that together? Can I do requires? Is it hash? Maybe not. I thought there was a way of linking or relating. There's child issues, link issues. Here we go. What's this? Link issues. So is blocked by yes 166 create. There we go. Cool. So now we have a little bit of hierarchy there. That's good. And I'll just put in some gumph in here. So this is this is adjust the portal. Well, its portal is front end. So adjust the portal to show the course description. Yeah. Now I also need to think about so some of these courses will have, all these courses will have code. So how to get that back? But again, I think what we'll do is we'll get clear all of these tasks out, and then we'll probably review this. Hello, Backlin. Is it Backlin? Hello. Thank you for joining. I hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. Feeling good. It's quite early in the morning here, 7:10 a.m. And what I'm doing today is just going through the new howtocodewell.net site, the project board. I've got my project manager's hat on this morning, and I'm going through each one because I fear that the project is going in a direction that needs to be reined back in a bit. So what I would like to do today, or by the end of the stream, is have a bunch of MVP tasks that I can just do, and only do those. Okay, so fix portal build script to use the new API. That's what we've just said. Show course description. Yeah, that's correct. Create a deployment script off stream. Does it need to be off stream? And also we have, I think I'm going to change this to be create a staging deployment script. All right. So we definitely will need a production deployment script, but let's not put that in just yet. So requires webhooks for build. That's correct. However, it kind of does it automatically, really. So putting it down is a bit pointless. So let me think. So this is going to use. This is kind of in progress. This should use Terraform and Ansible. So this does kind of exist in a sort of a fluid way. This should use Terraform and Ansible to install the code and build. It really should be to build the servers, and install the code on AWS. Boom. So this is kind of in progress. Kind of. And it has been for a while. I've been sort of ducking in and out of it, to be honest. It's one of those things that evolves with the project. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so next one here. Create a staging deployment. Oh, that's what I've just done. Does it need to be off stream? I don't think it does, because I've shown you what it is, so that doesn't really, that's irrelevant. So that's fine. Okay, so add RSS feed for blog. No, I don't think that's MVP. Don't think that is. Let's get rid of that. It's definitely needed, but not minimal viable product. I don't need that for getting live. Create an RSS feed on the portal. Whoops, what's this? Portal. For the blog, and essentially I kind of want another one really for the podcast and everything, but let's just mark that down. So this isn't going to be MVP, so that can go. All right, pre-live adjustments. That's kind of a bit of a big. What does this mean? Create all the tutorial fixtures. Why is this in a why? That doesn't make any sense. Why is this in a task? In this task? Maybe I was just looking at this as creating like a bucket of things. Create all the tutorial fixtures. Do we have all of the tutorial fixtures? Let me have a little look. Bring up the code. So if we go to src, data fixtures, go into tutorial fixture. No, we don't. We have 17 courses, and here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so yeah, we definitely need to create all the tutorial fixtures. Okay, I'll leave that as is, because I think this is important. Then this is the create courses and descriptions type stuff. Okay, fine. Let's see. Let's take this, untick that, and have a look at the everything else. So that's fine. This is create basic acceptance tests for homepage. Let's have a little read. This will require BHAT tests to be created in the portal. Yes, this is an interesting one. Have a slurp of me tea. So what I would like to do for MVP is to create a series of acceptance tests using Gherkin and Cucumber. And I want to use the JavaScript variant of those running against the portal, running against staging that will essentially test scenarios of people logging in, logging out, people viewing courses, people going through the whole payment process, everything end to end. Essentially end-to-end tests running through Cucumber, and I think that will be my go live no go sort of decision point. Once all the features are in and the scenarios are created and then tested, once I'm happy with that the tests come back and say that they're fine, then we can push to production. So that's kind of like the last thing, right? Obviously there's probably like 120 different tests for the actual API itself, like acceptance API tests and unit tests and all that stuff. Plus there's a bunch of jest tests in the portal, which is Gatsby. So running jest to test the components in React and other in Gatsby and stuff like that. So there's those tests, but I think that there needs to be like a bunch of BHAT tests, or not behavioral tests. That's what I mean. Excuse me. So yeah, create basic acceptance tests for homepage. I think what I'm going to do is, I think for this, because there's nothing in here that says install Cucumber, so we're gonna just create another thing in here. So create or install Cucumber. I can't spell it. Cucumber .js on portal. And okay, this should be set up to run on staging and locally. And yes, cute, yes, that's good. And we'll put this down as MVP. We'll put this down as tests, and we'll also put this down as UI. Cool. So 167 is the one we want to look for, because 167 is going to be linked to this one here. So add a link. So is block by, is blocks, is cloned, is duplicated, relates to, is block by, and this is 167. We'll link those. Okay, so this will, let's describe this test. Create a basic acceptance test for homepage. So this will, so first of all, check that the homepage is up. Returns a 200 OK. 200 OK. Whoa! All the emojis are flying around. Hey, the con shot. Hey, thank you very much for following. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Cool. Woohoo! That is so cool. I'm so glad I got those going. Backlin is saying that it's 8:10, although he probably mentioned that a while back, to be honest, in Spain. So hello. Hope everyone's doing well. Feeling good. Check that the homepage returns a 200 OK. I also want to check that the featured courses, featured courses are showing. What else do I want to do? These are scenarios, basically. Check that I can see that. Check that I can see the login and register buttons. So cool. Okay, Backlund says, I have a question. Is this an open source project? No, it's not. It's no. It's a project that I've been building for a long time. It's not open source, but I'm more than happy to show you certain areas of it. Essentially, it's going to be my so we've got howtocodewell.net at the moment, but it's not very dynamic. It's very old, and what I want to do is build a bunch of APIs, which I have done for it. It's basically going to be my platform, my courses, but it's not open source. However, there's some elements that I've created that are open source. Like I've created a couple of NPM packages for things like the branding and the UI. So there are certain elements that are open source, but a large majority of it isn't. The conshot is saying, what are you making? Well, yes. So the new HTCW site. Yeah, it's been in. I've been doing it for a long time, and this MVP, this minimal viable product, is taking me so long to do. Unfortunately, I'm my own worst enemy, and I've gone into various different directions that I didn't necessarily need to do. I also spent a lot of time trying to make it into very sort of a microservice architecture, and that was just taking so long. So not all of the services, but some of the services I've brought back together into a sort of a smaller monolith, if you like. But today, I kind of just want to review everything, like from a Jira's point of view, and just so I have a clear direction, because I feel like some of the functionality is very close to get up onto to use, but I just think that I need to rein it back in, and I also need to review what I wanted to do in the first place. So we have staging. We have a staging box. This is on AWS. It's using Terraform and Ansible as a means of installing all the software, such as Docker and everything. The construct is saying, I have a unrelated question to the stream. Do you mind if I ask? Of course, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Check basic. Yes. Okay. So I guess here I need to sort of like go through some of the tests. But yeah, please just ask me anything, really. Okay, so fix the done that. Create acceptance test, done that. Create acceptance test for register. Again, this will. Why is that doesn't need to be off stream? I don't know why I did this. This is allowed. Hey, Ternad, I hope you're well. Oh, I'm a little tired today. Today we're going to do some reviewing of the MVP of the Jira tasks, and we're going to try and get back to some sort of what's the word? Some sort of direction. Okay, the consort said, I recently joined your Discord and was referred by a friend. Oh, cool. Nice. I've wanted to get into web development for years now, but always found it super difficult. Any advice? Oh, wow. Wow. Any advice? So, I would suggest taking a look, if you can, take a look at the podcast and go through some of the interviews I've done with other developers, because they have a lot of advice. So this is the podcast, and actually, what I'll do is I'll find a specific one. So, may I ask, are you self-teaching, or are you going through a course? What's your background? We have. Let me see if I can find it for you, because this was a fascinating. I found this a fascinating interview. How to code well. .fm, and if we go to episodes, and it was, where are you? I think it was one of my very first ones. Not Kimberly. Matt Trask. Web Dev Simplified. Here we go. So, you're a self-taught, indeed. No worries. Yeah, no worries. So check this one out. This one was Tom Varell. This was my fourth ever one. And Tom is a self-taught developer. And I managed to interview him like within a few weeks of him actually getting into the industry. So I'm going to just bung this here. And also, there was one more. Well, actually, all of these are super interesting. We talk about different specific things, like this one here from Jeremy Onion. We're talking about writing the best CV that you can. We also talked about like Bitcoin. This is with William, and then I've interviewed some really good speakers as well. Nathaniel is a good one. this one here, we were talking about. So he's a recruitment agent. So we were talking about, from his point of view, from his side of the table, what he looks for in candidates. Adam Culp from Beachcasts. Yeah, loads. But there, here we go. Best resources for self-taught web devs. Here you go. Cool. Groovy. That's enough self-plugging. But really, my advice is to just start and to not be afraid of asking questions. The fact that you've asked me a question is fantastic because it shows me that you're comfortable with asking questions, which is great. But don't be a stranger on the Discord server. If you've got any questions, regardless of whether you think they're silly or very sort of have been asked a million times before, just ask them because we'll help you out. Yeah. Yeah. No worries. And as Dylan had said, Stack Overflow is the secret. Yes. We're like Google wizards. Google everything. Okay, so create an acceptance test for login, create acceptance test for register. Successful registration should go to account page. Oh, I've skipped one, haven't I? Correct this one here. This is for registration. So use a faker library. I've already done this. That's done. So this is an acceptance test. This requires the linked issue for this one, install Cucumber on Portal. And this is also going to be on UI, and we'll link that. And what I want to do here is I want to just list out so I can register, right? I can register. I can't register. I cannot register with invalid user account. So wrong email format. Okay. I am taken to the account screen after I have registered. Cool. So we're kind of sort of making some scenarios, I guess. I mean, I'm going to review all of these when we get to them. Save that. Okay. Oh, this is definitely for the MVP. There we go. Definitely. This is definitely needs to happen. That was MVP. I haven't set that as MVP. There we go. Google all the things. I had yesterday, I was doing some work, and I had windows of tabs. I had 3 windows in Safari, plus I was using Chrome, and there was just at the end of the day, I was like, oh my god, how many tabs do I have open? It's nuts. I must have had something in the region of 20 tabs spanning over these things. 20, 30 tabs, I think. And they're all you find a bug, so you get the bug, you get the error, some sort of textual description in the error. You Google that, and then you have a tab open just for the Google results, and then you open a new tab for each result, and it kind of exponentially grows. And then you wonder why your computer's running slow. Okay, successful registration should go to the account page. yeah, I guess we've already got a test for that, right? Well, we will have. So we'll put this as MVP. We'll put this as UI. So after registration, the user should go to the accounts page. So basically this is like a dashboard, this page. And what I think we'll need to show on this, because when you've just registered, there's nothing in your account. So I think we could either show potential courses to watch, or just show that it's empty and then it with a link saying go and view a course, and then you go to the courses page. I don't know. I need to think about that. Sign to me. All right. Successful registration should go to the account page. Definitely. Register required messages should be read. That's not MVP, is it? I mean, not really. I'm not gonna not put it live because the messages aren't in a red color. That's daft. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll set this as UI, but we won't put this as MVP. I think that at the moment the messages are orange. Oh, orange. Yeah, it's not really a massive issue, to be honest. I think I mentioned before that I'm going to show this to a web designer, I think, when it gets closer to the time. So all of these little UI things I think I'm going to address. I've kind of done this project in a very weird way, haven't I? Because I started without a design, so I'm just putting things together. Yeah, that's right. You got super useful stuff, and you've gone down so many hoops to get to that point to get to that browser tab, and you've gone and forgotten your whole trail. What I would like to see, I'm sure someone's done this before, but I would love to see like a history, like a tree diagram, if you will, of all the tabs you've clicked and where you've gone to from that click. That would be interesting. And then sort of replay that maybe. Okay, so that's not MVP. That's fine. Cannot register, definitely is MVP. This is a bug. It's UI, it's API. I'm aware of this issue. It looks like it's calling the login API as the message is cannot log in. Yes, so it's calling the wrong API. Definitely needs to be fixed. Okay, create an API endpoint that returns a user's viewed courses. Now, I was thinking about this earlier whilst I was having my morning cup of tea, the first one. And so essentially what happens, what I would like to do is have, I want an API that can get all of the viewed courses that the user has seen, as well as all the viewed tutorials, and then have an API to get to get the user's most seen courses and most seen tutorials. But I don't think this functionality is MVP. Essentially, on the account page, I want to have two tabs. One, this is your most recent tutorial you've seen, and then this is the tutorial that you've seen the most of. Because I think, like talking about browser tabs, I think that would be super interesting if there was always this one. There was a question actually, wasn't there, in Discord? I can't remember who asked it, but it was a question. It was like, what is the most Googled resource that you can think of? And I answered with a link to, there's this gist that has 2 lines of code in it, and the 2 lines of code is how to back up and restore MySQL database from a Docker container. I do that frequently. I don't know why I haven't written that down or even put that into a script. I should really do. But anyway, what I'm saying is that that's like my most viewed Googled thing, I think of. So I kind of want to see the same thing, but for these courses. So the most viewed tutorial, the most viewed course. But again, I don't really think this is MVP material. So I'll leave it as API. I'm not going to use MVP. Returns a user's viewed course. Okay, I will add some text here. So this should come back in the order of most viewed. Yes, create an API that returns viewed courses. And what I'm going to do is create another task, and this is going to be create an API endpoint that returns a user's viewed returns users viewed courses and most viewed courses, because it's slightly different. This one here is about returning them in the order of most viewed. So I don't know if you saw, like, the other stream I did, it has on the database there's a counter, right? So I've got a date, so with the date I can see like the last viewed based on date, but then I've got a counter, so I can order by the counter. So this is order by the counter in the course view table from the counter from. And so this will require a query, a DB query. So it's not MVP, it's API, and it's DB. Cool. Good. That's disgusting. I'm going to go and get some more tea, I think, because that's horrible. That's like, yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to grab another tea, I think, and then I'll be back. But, where are we at? We're at here, aren't we? That's a definite test thing. Alright, I'm going to bring that up, and I'll just leave that there. I'm going to go and grab a cup of tea. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll speak to you all a bit soon. Bye-bye. Leave the music on. Okay, let's get back to this view. Hello again. I have a nice warm or hot, very hot, how, cup of tea. Yikes. So I also fed the cats as well. So I was thinking that this Jira thing doesn't actually list all of the tasks for MVP. So, yeah, I'm not sure we got time to go through every single one, but it doesn't list all of them. So I think what I'll do tonight, I think, is probably look. I've got like notebooks of stuff that I've got. I think I'll put them all down onto Jira. So, like for example, we don't have any kind of things in here about integrating with Stripe or anything like that. So. Anyway, create API test for login. Definitely. This is an API. So, okay, this is already done. Actually, this is an API test. This is done. So that's done. Create API test for logout. That hasn't been done. All right. Why is this off stream? I can do this on stream. That's fine. Tests. It's definitely MVP. So this is an API test now. So I want to make sure that the session is removed and the token is cleared from the DB, or cleared stroke inactive. All right, cool. Okay, create API have I just skipped a bunch? I think I have. Cannot register, create API endpoint that returns, so that's viewed courses, create API, viewing a tutorial, API endpoint for viewing a tutorial. What? This is done, isn't it? Create API, yeah, that's done. That's for viewing a tutorial. Yeah, I'm gonna mark this as done. That's done. Off you go. Hey, how's it going? I can't pronounce your username, but you've set off the emojis. I'm going to try it. It's, is it Kyle Goff or something like that? Thank you very much for following. I do appreciate it. Damn. Create API for logouts, done. Show course description, that's already done. Yeah, that's cool. Create billing pages off stream. I could do this on stream, it's fine. Billing pages. So, yes, so let me think about this a little bit. This is going to be in the accounts page. So in the accounts page, in the accounts section, add a link to the billing page. The billing page, it's not really a billing page, it's more of an invoices page. Anyway, the billing page will show the previous orders with in a list, in previous orders in a list or in a table. The table will contain date, payment date, sorry. Payment date, it's a bit like, when you go to your O2 billing screen. Payment date, date, payment amount. Yeah, we'll save that. So this isn't going to be for the MVP, and it's not going to be off stream. It's going to be UI. It's going to need an API. It's going to need some tests, although we'll put a test task in itself. It's going to need some DB. This is a task that is going to happen in the future. Probably more of an epic, to be honest. But I just want to list this. The reason being is that I know that there's people like universities and other course lecturers and stuff who use my courses, and they will obviously need to have some way of getting invoices. So this is kind of like the first stepping stone for that. But it doesn't need to be in the first iteration. It doesn't need to be in the minimal viable product. So we'll just leave that there for now. Okay, create security pages. Definitely needs to be on MVP. Are we now moving into epics? Or, yeah, this is an epic. Yeah. So this is definitely MVP. This is definitely requiring the API and UI now, and the DB. So I think with this, I could probably add some child pages, some child tasks. So we want to be able to reset the password. We also want to deactivate the account. So, right to be forgotten, that kind of thing. Deactivate the account. And I think for now, for the MVP, that should be okay. So reset the password, deactivate the account. So these are tasks for the security. Now, obviously, after the MVP, we'll do all sorts of crazy and wonderful things with security. Like, for example, I can't say anything today. 2FA, and also social login. So, for instance, logging in with your GitHub account, Twitter account, all of that jazz. But not for the MVP. Tasks for security pages in the account section. Woohoo! Okay. So next one, user can change their subscription. Yes, definitely. Again, why have I got this off stream? This should be on. I was obviously feeling rather protective when I was doing all these back in the day. Okay, so user can change. This is a story, I believe. So is it, or is it an epic? I can never remember. Epic, yeah. User can change their subscription. So now it was only last weekend actually. I wasn't feeling great to stream last weekend, so I didn't. A free account can be upgraded to a paid account. A paid account can be downgraded to a free account. I can't spell paid, can I? Free account. Yeah, so what I did was I used a tool that I've used before. It's really good. It's called Pencil, and this allows me to draw diagrams, flowcharts, and stuff like that. So, which languages do I teach? Being asked by can't say your username, Kargoff. So I teach PHP. I've got the PHP series going at the moment, which I release one video every Monday. I teach Python. I teach JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Docker, Linux. What else have I done? I've done Jekyll. I've done. I'm sure I've done others. Yeah. Programming, I guess. I'm more of a Linux stroke Mac guy, so I don't really deal with things like .NET. Although I have done .NET before, I don't know it enough now. I was taught that when I was at uni. When I was in college, and like classic ASP and .NET, but those things I leave to better people than me. Yeah. I tell you what, let me have a little hunt. Okay, so what we've got is, so not only do I do the courses for YouTube and others, but and Udemy and all that stuff, but I've also done courses for Pact and Manning. So in fact, I think in the channel below there's like links to various things, but I've done a Python clean coding course for Pact, and I've done a Python hands-on microservices course for Pact, and with Manning Publications and Manning Books, I've done a course on Docker. Do I think that Linux Mac is better in terms of productivity? Yes, if you know Linux and Mac. If you don't, then stick with what you know, because you'll be more productive doing that. The reason why I changed to Mac and Linux is because so many of my stuff got onto Linux boxes that I just thought it would be useful to know Linux. And also, at the time of switching to Mac, I was writing some iPhone apps. So I needed Xcode, and so I thought let's just go to Mac. So I'm on a Mac here. I've got a Mac laptop and Mac Mini and all that jazz. I've got some Linux boxes, but to be honest, I'm in the terminal most of the time. Like, I'm sure that there's a terminal window open here.
I don't know what you mean by "I'm sure" at the end of.
Oh, good. Thank you for that. I don't know if you heard that. That was Siri joining in. Brilliant. Okay, user can change their subscription. Have I just killed the music? I think I have. There we go. Put it back to the start. Okay, user can change their subscription. Now I need to think about how to do this in the UI. I haven't really thought about how this will work. I'm assuming that in the account page there's going to be some form of button that they press. And also, when they, let's say for example, if a payment fails, so if they're on a subscription account and the payment fails, then they need to be pushed back to the free account. To be clear, the difference between free and premium, or free and paid, is that with free you'll get access to all of the free courses, and they'll be coming directly from YouTube, whereas a paid subscription, like monthly and yearly, that's going to be all of the free stuff but without adverts, so they're going to be hosted somewhere else, but also all of the courses that aren't available for free accounts. So I mean, that puts in some really interesting issues. Let's say for example someone has subscribed and they're paying, but there was 1 month where they couldn't pay for some reason, but they've already seen a lot of premium content. There needs to be some sort of check to make sure that you're on the right subscription to see the right course. So there's going to be some interesting user journeys and edge cases there. So let's say that this user has seen, say, 5 premium courses, but now they're not paying anymore. They can no longer see those premium courses. Yeah. Plus, I haven't even considered emails yet. So we need to think about how all the emails get fired off. Gosh. The more I think about this project, the more it goes. Where can I see your lessons on Python and JavaScript? Sure. Sorry. I should have got to that. Where can you do that? Let me bring up. Okay, it is. Let me find links. I should really have a list of all of these things. Pack publishing. Can I just search for my name in here? Is that going to work? Peter Fisher? Yes. Oh, sweet. Cool. Okay. Boom. So let me bring this up. So this is Pack Publishing, and if I did, if I searched for Peter Fisher, me, woo. So there's 2 courses that I've done. I'll put links in the show notes. So this is Master Python Clean Coding. It's 2 hours, 8 minutes long, apparently, and I will put that into the chat. And this is hands-on microservices in Python. So this also talks about Docker and other bits and pieces like that. But also, if I go to the YouTubes, and I'm gonna have to stop that. If we go to playlists. Why am I not showing this on stream? So playlists, and is there a way I can search for this stuff? Where is it? NPM. Here we go. Python beginner course. Open that up, and please don't play it. Please don't play it. You're gonna play it. Stop playing it. Right. Right. This is the Python beginners course that I've done. There is also another one, isn't there, that I've done? So the one I've just sent you has 9 videos in. Oh gosh, get rid of that stupid advert. What else have I got? I tell you what, let me just put this in the channel, in the chat. There you go. That's all of the playlists I've got on YouTube. Fill your boots. So we've got like AWS, NPM, we got some Symfony stuff, Docker stuff, Python stuff, Linux stuff, PHP stuff, MySQL stuff, PHP and MySQL, Jekyll, I think is there, HTML, some more PHP, yeah, loads of stuff. But essentially what I want this website to do, what I'm working on, is to be a place where people can actually see all of these things in more of a reasonable, sort of packaged environment. No worries. No worries. I'll stop showing YouTube now just in case I get into trouble. With because what happens, you see, is that there's another YouTube channel that I archive all of these live streams on. And of course, if YouTube detect that I'm showing a YouTube video in a stream and that YouTube video has copyrighted content in, i.e. adverts, then I get copyright striked on my own content. That's happened before. User can change their subscription. A free account can be upgraded to a paid account. A paid account can be downgraded to a free. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah, have I? So this is definitely MVP. It's UI. It's API. It's DB. Right. Okay. Cool. Have I come up with any kind of tasks for this? I don't think I have done. Well, I mean, we're now getting into the weeds of logged in and logged out functionality. Show current subscription and user dashboard. No, I don't think I have. Basically, I want to look for tasks that relate to that. So, like, for example, I want to create an alert system, and this isn't an MVP at all. Alert system is like when I'm live, and when there's new courses, I basically want like a ticker tape thing at the top to say this is just happening. So some form of like polling system. But anyway, yeah, right. Copyright strikes from my own content. It's ridiculous. The YouTube algorithm has got far too intelligent. I used to try and keep up with it, but yeah. I've gone and totally forgotten where I was. Not here. We've done all this. I want to find that task. Create an API endpoint that returns a user's viewed course. We've done all these. Done this as billing section. Create security pages. User can change their subscription. There we go. Right. So I need to have some way of creating. We'll do some child issues here. We need an API endpoint. So create API endpoint. Now I tell you what, let's think of the use cases here. First of all, user journeys. How are they going to do this? Because there's going to be multiple ways that this can happen. So way one is the most obvious way, and that is that payment has failed. So payment has failed, HAS has failed, and therefore subscription status needs to be downgraded, right? Downgraded. Next one is that the user was on a free account, but they've actually gone and when they've viewed another course that was premium, because you can do that, you can actually view premium courses, but without actually viewing the course, you can view the description, the sort of thing. You enroll. So free account has enrolled in premium course, and therefore subscription has been upgraded. I can't spell therefore. Another user journey is that the user just simply decides to downgrade. Now, do I give that an option? Do I give the user the option to do that? I think they should. Yeah, because if they wanted to, because all they would do, if I didn't have that functionality, is that they would just deactivate the account, and I would rather them downgrade their account instead of deactivating their account. So yeah, user manually downgrades. Okay, is there any other ways that this may happen? So user payment has failed, and therefore subscription status needs to be downgraded. Free account has enrolled in a premium course, and therefore subscription status has been upgraded, gets upgraded. User manually downgrades subscription to free. Is that all? I feel like I'm missing something. No, I think that is it. I think they're the three. I need to create this as a flow diagram. I think this is going to be my challenge for this weekend. I think Saturday. This side of the web, this side of the application hasn't really taken form yet. I have got a sandbox Stripe account that I have been firing API requests at and testing the database. I've been doing all of this stuff off stream, but I haven't really worked it into any kind of shape. Okay, so let's save that. Let's create some child issues. So we're gonna need to create a, based off of these. So we need to create an API to downgrade subscription, and this is called from Stripe, right? So Stripe will take the payment, recurring payments, and if it fails, then it will then downgrade the account, and then it'll be up to the user to then go, oh, so there is another one. Sorry, Stripe. So there is another use case. Of course there is. Here, yes. So user manually downgrades. So when the payment has failed and therefore it needs to be downgraded, the user needs to then upgrade the account, right? And then it restores their account to where it was. So user upgrades upgrades account to paid to premium. Yeah, I think that's probably... Yeah, because I'm going to have to then check whether the user was previously a premium account. User upgrades a previous premium account which has been deactivated. Now, this sounds like it's going to be a big job actually, because essentially what I need to do is loop over all of the courses, the premium courses, and deactivate them when it's been deactivated. So this might have to be a job, maybe some sort of RabbitMQ thing that goes through and or I could just, I don't know, it depends on how complicated this goes, but that shouldn't be, the user request shouldn't be held up just because it's going through all of the accounts and deactivating all of the courses and deactivating them. Or not, it's not really deactivating, it's switching them onto free accounts, but there's going to be some courses that aren't available for that are only available for premium. That's going to be an interesting cucumber test there. Okay, create an API to downgrade subscription called from Stripe. Create. That should be create API. Whoops! Come on, can I change that? No. What's no? What's going on? Oh, I've lost it. No, I've lost it. Oh no. What's happened? I pressed too many buttons and now I've lost that task. I really wish I remember the number. User can change their profile. User can change their subscription. Here we go. Right. Can I change that? Create an API endpoint. Yes, I can. And we'll set these to be API and MVP and DB. So this is going to, yeah, that'll do. I'm gonna have to. I'll review this when I get to it. Cool. How are you expecting the project? That's a brilliant question. That is. Well, for anyone who's watched me stream, I've been at this for the past year. Oh gosh, you're asking the right questions. You are. Oh, that's made me chuckle. Yeah, no, I ban him for that question? Oh, the mods are on it. No, don't ban him. But just be known that I am my worst enemy when it comes to these things. I'm trying to get better, hence trying to do a stream just dedicated to project planning. But please, I do need those. These, yes. I need to be prompted from time to time. I haven't put a deadline on this. Let's get real here. I haven't put a deadline on this because I want this to be... I obviously want this to be working. However, I would like to see this the MVP to be out by the end of the year. When that is at the end of the year, I don't know. Am I going to be disappointed if it doesn't go live in 2021? Yes. I'll be disappointed with myself rather than with the project. So I foresee this to be at the end of the year. Now, we were doing before this whole project, we were doing a project on PHP object orientation. I was doing a course specifically on design patterns, which I've put in a holding pattern, and I've put it on the holding pattern for a very long time, and I'm craving to get back to it. That's going to be one of my premium courses. Essentially, what I was doing on Twitch was I was planning the course and I was doing the code, and then what I would do once that's done, and we were getting our way through it. I'm covering every design pattern in PHP. Once that was done, I would then record it, do the recordings, and then that would become the course. So there's a business pressure from myself to get this done because I need How to Code Well to be earning money, which it isn't really at the moment, to justify its existence. So there is definitely like this real pressure that I have internally to get this sorted. So I'm going to say by the end of the year, because I think this will give me enough time to flesh out all of these things. And I think we've turned some really good corners. Like, for instance, the login and the authentication is far better than what it used to be. I've also made some really interesting technical decisions based on mistakes. And we've also got the staging up and running using Ansible and Terraform. So we are making strides. One corner of the jigsaw puzzle that I haven't really yet done is the actual subscription status kind of stuff. So I have ideas, but I need to form this into code. In my defense, why this is taking me so long is that I'm a freelance developer, and I have clients that require time and energy, obviously. So I do all of this on stream and also in evenings and weekends. I don't do any of this during the day because I get my wrist slapped, obviously. So it's one of those projects that is kind of, I have to give myself a very small amount of time to do in terms of the times that I can spend on it. It's only like a couple of hours here and there. Which is annoying. I haven't really spent like a full day on this. I don't know what that feels like. I would probably be able to smash through a lot of this stuff if I was able to. So, yeah. Anyway, my little rant over. Talking about the freelance stuff, I do need to shoot off about 8:30, which is in about 10 minutes time. Because I've got meetings and various bits and pieces happening today, so just an example really of how backstage. Create an API endpoint that returns. We've already done all this. Was it HTCW 159 or something like that? It was. User can see previously watched courses. No, we've already done that. Users can subscribe and see ad-free courses. So that's a journey, isn't it? User can see their invoices. let's just quickly go through top level stuff in the last 10 minutes. So fix, that's MVP, that's fine. That's fine. Required messages unread, that's not MVP. Cannot register, that's MVP definitely. Create an API that returns, yeah, that's not MVP. Create API endpoint that returns a user's viewed tutorials, not MVP. Create API for test of logout is. Show course description is. Create billing pages isn't. Create security pages is. User can change subscription is. User can change their email. Can change their email. I don't know. I'm going to say no. I'm going to be, because, and this will be like phase 2. User can change their profile. So have I got anything in here? No. I love the way I just do titles and not actually explain what they are. User can change. Okay, so this is, from what I can remember, this is changing the first name. So this is changing first name and last name. Save. In the future, we're going to have like avatars that people can upload. So you get your own little, you can upload much like my face here. This is going to be an MVP, I think. So that will require an API endpoint. Okay, user can see their invoices isn't MVP, but this is going to be API. It's UI, isn't it? Can see, so it's API UI. Subscribed users can see ad-free courses, definitely MVP. UI, cool. And again, why have I got this off? Whoops. Why have I got this off stream? This is fine. Again, me and my sort of privacy settings. User can purchase a course. Okay, so now I remember writing this. I was thinking like users can purchase a course one-off, but I don't think I want to do that anymore. So I might just delete this if I can. Can I get rid of this? Is there a way I can delete that? Yeah, we go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, subscribe users can see ad-free courses. That's done. Users can see previously watched courses in their members area. It's not MVP, but it's it's not MVP, but it's certainly needed. Show current subscription in user dashboard. That is definitely MVP. So I want you to see whether you're on a free account or not, and then perhaps at that point have the ability to upgrade if you're not if you're on a free account. Create a pricing tiers page. I've done, but I need to change the pricing. So done, but change the pricing. Oh, so page in page has been created, but the pricing needs to be reviewed and also be reviewed. Viewed. Yeah, okay, good. MVP. Okay, document the adding of HTCW components. I've done that. Create a staging deployment script. Definitely MVP. Add an RSS feed for the blog. Definitely not MVP, but this is going to be UI. Add API request to update the user viewed. Add an API request to update user viewed count course. What? My English is terrible. So this is actually done. I did this last week, so that's done. Create an optimal learning order for courses. Okay, yes. So this was a question that I, this was a suggestion, sorry, that I had on one stream to create an optimal learning order. So like, you know, after you've watched this, you should watch this, that kind of thing. And maybe some sort of learning journey. So it's not MVP, but I do like the idea. Add tags to courses. We have the ability for tagging, but I'm not going to put this for the MVP. Pre-live adjustments, MVP. Allow tutorials to be auto-played, not MVP, but UI. Create a category page, not MVP. In fact, I'm probably going to remove resources, I think. List all items. Again, this is... Actually, no, I will keep this. I will keep that. The resources API is an example of me going into a random tangent and building a completely different API for resources. Ah, dear. And unfortunately, now I've done it. It's kind of like I need to finish it. Silly me. Anyway, list all tags with account. That's not MVP. I'm not doing that. Not for the minimum viable product. Add all resources. Yeah, see, this is annoying. It's database. And I'm not going to put it as MVP because, you know, I'm not going to waste my time. It's not wasting my time. I'm not going to not put it live because I haven't put some resources on. That's silly. Create an alert component. This is definitely not MVP. Definitely not. This is phase 2. In fact, I'm probably going to just review the alert system later in its entirety. Essentially, the alert system, I think I mentioned earlier, is I want to create some clever sort of serverless type stuff which will know or notify the website when I'm live here, and also to notify when new videos are up, that kind of thing. A bit like the stuff we've got on Discord, where you get notified when I've uploaded a video, that kind of thing, but on the website itself. Potential polymorphic call. The code may be inoperable depending on the actual class. What is this? This is an issue in the constructor of the validator. This is a bug. All right, so this needs to be MVP. Come on, click on that. This is MVP. This is database and API, and I'll assign it to myself. Don't know why I'm assigning it to myself. I'm the only one working on this, but hey. What have we got? 8:28. Okay, I'm going to have to shoot soon. We're only in on the last 3. Create all courses description, definitely. Install Cucumber, definitely. Create an API endpoint that returns users' most viewed courses, not MVP. Sweet. I think I've done it. So if we go to MVP, how many tasks are there? 20. There's 20 tasks to do. Okay, and obviously we haven't listed all of the possible tasks for the MVP, especially the stuff around the I want to list all the tests, and I want to also list all of the I want to list the functionality for the the subscription stuff, that kind of side of it I need to deal with. Cool. So we've got a good place, which is good. Which was the point of this stream. My head is exploding now. And I've got so much other complicated stuff to deal with today. Before I go, though, I did promise to talk about the coding challenge for this month. I promised that in the Discord, so I need to do that. Let's just grab this. So we go to how to code. No, it's coding challenges, isn't it? Coding challenges, code challenges. Is it code challenges? I can't I can't talk. This is the current code challenge. If you're not already aware, every month we do a challenge where I ask you to write some code based on these challenges, and then I will review them every month. So coming up to, this Sunday, I will be doing a review of the April 2020 code challenge. It's based upon the last challenge. So if you haven't done the last challenge, please do check that out. I'll open that up now just to show you. And I haven't yet put the video up yet. Why haven't I not done that? Let me just write that down. What was that, March? Right. I'll get that done tonight. So, yeah, apologies for that. So there will be a review, but this is the fighting game. We had all of these challenges in, which was brilliant. And yeah, it's a fighting game, so go check that out. That's the March challenge. The April challenge extends onto this, and one of the questions I got this morning was, what do we do when what happens when you actually fight? You know, are we going to be fighting one character at a time? No, what I want is all the characters to fight at once. So essentially you're going to have a table of all of the characters, and there's 100 of them. You get to change the health and and their strength and stuff by pressing, I think it's just the health, increase HP, decrease HP, and you can also delete the row. But essentially, when you roll the dice, now this isn't for this challenge, this is probably for the next one, I want all of the characters to be paired off. So let's say you've got 100 characters, then you're going to have 50 characters, right? Sort of 50 battles essentially. And then what will happen is your dice roll will increase the strength points, and then they'll fight based on the current strength points of each one. Now, the issue comes when the challenge comes when there is an odd number of characters, and also there is special abilities. So where is this? Special abilities. Here we go. When rolling a double, display the special powers that are active. So there is double 5, that skips a go, and also double 6 steals 50% health from the opponent. So once you've worked out the opponents, you then work out once you've worked out the battles, you then work out the special powers. You increase and decrease those. And then when you've got them left, you then have the battle. Now, after that happens, there's obviously going to be there might be an odd number of characters, and if that happens, then those characters who do not have an opponent don't fight and will automatically get skipped. So, and then it's the basically last character standing is the one that wins. And every time you roll the dice, this gets worked through. The special powers go into play, and then they fight essentially. So it's a JavaScript game, and I'll be reviewing the challenges on Sunday, and I'll be talking about the future improvements to this, some of which I've already mentioned. So just to be clear, the April challenge does not include the actual battle. It's just deleting rows, increasing the HP, decreasing the HP of the characters, and then rolling the dice. After you've rolled the dice, you then display the special powers that are active, but you don't fight. The fight comes next month. So it's just a way of setting the scene, if you will, for all of that. Anyway, I need to dive off. It's now 8:34. I need to grab some breakfast before I start work. So, thank you ever so much for watching. Happy coding, everybody. I feel like I've just... Have a great day, everyone. Stay healthy, all right? Stay healthy. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye. Happy coding.